These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Frank 26. The monetary reform is successful. All they need to do now is give them the new exchange rate and the new currency that they've been talking to them about. It's successful, and that's why everybody's signing contracts left and right and pouring into Iraq. You honestly think contracts are being signed at a program rate? Of course not. All right, Pimpy says, here's the thing that everybody's missing. Article quote, government advisor announces entry into force of 2024 budget. Quote, the exchange rule 12.1 does not currently exist under financial management law number 6 of 2019 as amended until the beginning of 2026. Pimpy says, what is Iraq's exchange rule 12.1? 12.1 rule refers to the rate which the Iraqi dinar is exchanged with the US dollar. 12 Iraqi dinars for every 1 US dollar. Over time, the 12.1 rule has been revised several times. 1160 in 2003, 1170 in 2006. Looks to me like they're trying to say the exchange rate will be changed in the beginning of 2026. Pimpy says, what is the exchange? That exchange rate, 12 Iraqi dinars for every dollar. I think I have 4 million dinars. Divide by 12, that means 333,500,000. That's what I get when I change in my Iraqi 12 to 1. Take the number of dinars you have, divide by 12, and that's what you will get back. According to this article, that's not going to happen until 2026. Could something happen to expedite that? Of course it could, but they're saying here 2026 is when they expect to review whether or not they change it to the 12.1 rule. My view is this is their wall. Note, used the Dinar Guru calculator to determine how much money you could have. And to correct what I said earlier, Pimpy's number was 333,500. Militiaman, the United States Treasury, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, the Bank of International Settlements, World Trade Organization, the EU, many different entities have been working with Iraq to get her to go to an international standard. The stage is set for Iraq to be international. Everybody should know that, and it's not just a simple Dinar Guru situation. It's actually the largest financial entities in the world are the ones that are giving us this information. I hope you take to heart and pay attention to it. All right, Frank 26, as I told you, in my opinion, they would go one more major move. I think that's what they're going. It's what they're looking at. Look where they're doing. They're going to get 1,000 to 1. Talk about perfect scenario to lift the 3 zeros, but remember, there's a good chance we're not going to see that 1,000 to 1. Walking Stick says they didn't print new coins. The oldest coins they had are still good. That might be one of the reasons why, in my opinion, they're going to incorporate it along with the lower denoms at the same time. They have not manufactured any new coins. The CBI is going to use the old coins. Those coins are sitting in the CBI vault. You can throw away fiat. You can throw away paper. The 3-0 notes, but it would be dumb to throw away precious metals. It doesn't have Saddam on it. Coins don't. Sandy Ingram says people have been asking, why is the Iraqi dinar one rate in Iraq and a different rate online? There are two major reasons for the different rates. One, the Iraqi government imposes strict currency controls to limit the flow of dinars out of the country. This creates a dual exchange rate system. Official rate, fixed rate imposed by the Central Bank of Iraq. Market rate, freely fluctuating rate, is used for private transactions and most imports. Two, the IQD is not widely traded internationally. Limited demand for dinars outside Iraq weakens its value on international market. But they are now saying speculation about a potential revaluation of the Iraqi dinar sometimes influences online prices. Speculation investors, and that's us. We are causing fluctuations in the currency value. Nader from the Mideast question, is the rate and lower currency going to come out together? Nader says, I think yes. This is why I think yes first, because they cannot change an exchange rate with big numbers rate. Second, they cannot change lower currency with the small exchange rate. If you change, you've got to change both. If you take the 3 zeros from the currency, you're going to have to take the 3 zeros out of the exchange rate in the same time, and that's what I think. Mark Z via PDK says it's a painful nothing burger this evening with RV News. I ran into a brick wall everywhere I go this evening. I do not know if this is good or bad, but it's only January 2nd. This is the first work day of the new year. All right, Pimpy, question, what's the difference between a dirty float and a managed float? Pimpy says you have a fixed rate like we have now, where they come out and say you get 13.20 dinar for $1 fixed. Then you have two types of floats. Free float, that means a market determines the value, no ifs, ands, or buts. The market determines the value. That's a free float. A managed float is the same as a dirty float. That means the Central Bank of Iraq will watch what happens in the free market, like Forex, but if it goes too far in one direction, then they intervene. They'll do something to control the exchange rate to keep it from getting out of whack. All right, Frank 26 question. Some of the banks I called said they're going to send them to another bank and inspect them, then bring them back. What happens if the Brink truck, as it's driving to the other bank, gets robbed? We will replace the dinar. Frank says, no, you won't. You'll replace the value, which is not good right now. So don't ever lose sight of your dinars. I told you, take pictures. You just need pictures of the front of your dinar, not necessarily the back. The front has the batch numbers and the serial numbers, and that's what's important. Lastly, Mark Z via PDK, I have zero doubt that we are going to reset, and the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese dog, and others are going to do exceptionally well. It's all in our history.